Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. As in a previous class, we have started with lesson number 7 of geography, that is human environment and settlement. In this human environment, we have read about settlements and transportation. Transportation, half we have completed. So, in this lesson, what we have understood till now, we will just recall that first. So, in this human environment, in the introduction, we have seen that early human beings had were first dependent entirely on the nature for food, clothing, and shelter, but slowly, they had made the modification or changes in the environment for their according to their needs and uh, necessities. They had made the changes in the environment as the new skills developed, they knowledge developed of the early human beings, and they knew about to how to grow food. Then they started living at one place till the crops get harvested. And like that, the type of settlement they started there. Settlement means a place where people build their homes. So previously, there was no need for the early human beings to make the houses and live. They did not have any knowledge. They just roam from one place to another in search of food, clothing. But as the knowledge grew and as uh, they developed the new skills, they started living in the houses, means in the settlements. Then previously, before the making of the settlements, before the making of the homes, they used to live on the trees, treetops, or in the caves. Then next in this we have studied about two types of settlements, that is permanent settlement and temporary settlement. In a previous video, if you have seen previous class or video, whatever it is, uh, you have seen that the permanent settlement are the settlement which are built permanently, like your homes and all, and these are built on the plain area, means the plain, wherever the plain area is there these permanent settlements are made. And the temporary settlements are those settlements which are made for the short time period. That means uh, these types of temporary settlements are built especially in deep forest, hot and cold as desert, and they are the temporary settlement. Why? Because for the time being, the people live there in that particular area, but just because of the climatic condition, or for the food or climate, or due to the animals fodder, they move from one place to another. Mainly they move from one place to another due to the climatic condition. If the weather is very cold of that particular area, they move to another place with their uh, animals to other place. So these are the type of temporary settlements. They are mostly made in the desert area, mountainous hilly areas, or where the deserts, cold and hot climate is there. So this permanent and temporary we have understood clearly. Then what is the meaning of transhumance? It is a seasonal movement from one season to another. The changes is there, that according to the season, change in the season, people also move with the animals in search of pasture. Pasture means in search of grazing grounds for the animals for the food, and that is called as transhumance. Then next we have studied about this Mary's birthday party, in which the topic of pollution in the city arose, and they were discussing on the topic of pollution. From this, we have understood this paragraph. We have understood nicely that why pollution is there more in the city, just because more population is residing in cities. From the village, also more and more people are coming. More and more people are attracted towards the cities and they are coming more and more in the cities just because of the uh, this job opportunities, health facilities. They are coming, the people from the villages are coming to the city, but when they are coming to the city, uh, problem of residence is there, the problem of home settlement is there, and that is why the slum and squatter settlements develop. Slum and squatter means the filthy areas develop. Wherever the people get the place, they start making their tents and all, they start living over there in the small huts and all, which where the condition is very unhygienic, गंदी सिचुएशन, गंदी कंडीशंस में रहते हैं वो लोग. And due to that also, the shortage of power and water supply is common in the cities, just because more population is residing. Even the pollution is more in the cities because more and more population is there, and they are using different types of vehicles, and these vehicles cause the pollution in the city. Then next we have studied about the compact settlement and the scattered settlement. The compact settlements are built, very close to each other, and the flat area very close, they are very close to each other. And the scattered settlements are those settlements, those places, those houses which are built very far away, and they are mostly built on the hilly tracts, thick forest, and extreme climate, whether very hot it is or too much cold it is. Those climatic conditions, the scattered settlements are made. That is, the settlements which are made, the houses which are made very far away. In figure 7.2 and 7.3, you can see the uh, condition of the compact settlement and the scattered settlement. Then we have further seen that the rural areas people build houses to suit their environment. In regions of heavy rainfall, the slanting people make the slanting roofs, whereas uh, the very much hot climate is there, their mud walled houses are made. That means mud is used which make the houses cool, and the thatch roof is made. Then next we have started with the transportation system. The transport is the means by which people and good move from one place to another. That is called as transportation system. Now in early days, we have already understood that in early days, people used to travel long distances on the foot only, and with their animals. They use their animals to carry the goods, and from one place to another they used to travel, and it took too much time also to reach to other places. Then finally, with the introduction of wheel, or we can say with the invention of wheel, the transportation system became easier. And now if we see in the modern time, the means of transport has saved the lot of time and energy. Till here we have completed in a previous class. Now for today, the four major means of transport are railways, waterways and airways, which are the four means of transport. They are roadways, railways, waterways and airways. Now this we will read it individually. Uh, the most commonly, first we'll see about the roadways. It is the most commonly used means of transport, and this is the means of transport, common means of transport used for the short distances, to cover the short distances. When you have to move to the short distance only, you can use these roadways. Now these roadways are of two types. Roads of these roadways are of two types: metalled, that is pakka, and unmetalled, that is kacha. Now pakka, you can see that this is the type of metal road which is called, also called as pakka, that is uh, coal tar and all is all used to make it. Whereas unmetalled road, it is the kacha road, where you can find that continuously moving of the people from that particular path automatically create a road in that particular area, and that is called as unmetalled road or kacha road. The plains have dense network of roads. Now which area has dense means more network of roads? the plain areas, because it is easy for the people to build the roadway roads over in these plain areas. Now roads have also built in terrains like desert, forest, and even high mountains, but it is easy for the roads to be built in plain area. Though roads are also built nowadays, we can see roads in the desert area, in the forest areas also, and in the mountainous areas also. But more and more network of roadways are possible in the plain area. You can underline this also. Manali Leh highway is in the Himalayan mountain, is one of the highest roadways in the world. So which is the highest roadways in the world? You can underline this, Manali highway. Manali Leh highway is the in the Himalayan region, and it is in the Himalayan region, which is the highest roadways in the world. Now, roads built underground are called subways, underpass. The roads are also built under the grounds, and these roads which are built under the ground are called as subways or underpaths. Whereas the road built over the raised structures are called as flyovers. You can build these types of two types of uh, roads are also there, that is underground roads are also there, flyovers are also there. Flyovers are the roads built on the raised structure, थोड़ा ऊंचाई पे लेकर के ऐसे बनाया जाता है जैसे पुल के ऊपर जैसे. Then underground are the subways. The roads built under the ground are called as subways. Now I hope roadways is clear. Two types, metalled and unmetalled. Even underground and flyovers are built. And where they are built mostly in the plain areas, but nowadays desert, mountainous regions also we can find these roads. Now before that, do you know there are several national and state highways? There are national and state highways in India. The latest development India is the construction of expressways. Now underline this. The latest development in India is the construction of what? Construction of expressways. And you can underline this also. The golden quadrilateral connects. The name Golden Quadrilateral is given to the road which connects Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata. So, Golden Quadrilateral connects which states? Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata. Now, coming to railways, the railway carry heavy goods and people long distances quickly and cheaply. That means the railways carry people as well as goods, and they cover long distances in very less time. The invention of steam engine and the industrial revolution helped in speedy development of rail transport. Now, due to the invention of steam engine and due to the industrial revolution where more and more industries came into being. At that time, it gave the speedy development to the rail transport also. Then diesel and electric engine have largely replaced the steam engine. What has replaced the steam engines? Nowadays, instead of steam engine, diesel engines and electric engines are used. In in places, superfast trains have been introduced to make the journey faster. Nowadays, we see superfast trains also, which make our journey faster. Means in within a few hours we reach to the places, to our destinations. Then the rail network is well developed over the plain areas. Now, this also railway network is developed in the plain areas. It is easy for the railway lines to be laid in the plain areas. Advanced technology skills have enabled laying of railway lines in difficult mountain terrains also. But due to nowadays advanced technological skills, railway lines have been made or have been laid down in mountainous regions also. But these are much fewer in number. Means the rail network is very less in the mountainous hilly regions, whereas in the plain area where it is easy to build the railway tracks, and in those areas more railways are there. Indian railway network is well developed. You can underline this also, which railway network is well developed and the largest in Asia. Indian railway network is the well developed network uh, of railways, and it is the largest in Asia. Till here understood everybody? Now in the side box, the train from Zening to Lhasa runs at an altitude of 4,000 meter above sea level, and highest point is 5,072 meters. Now this is the fact you should know, that the train from Zing to Lhasa, this runs at the altitude. Altitude means the height of 4,000 meter above the sea level, and the highest point is 5,072 meter. This is the highest point where the train runs. Next, the Trans-Siberian Railway is the longest railway system connecting St. Petersburg in western Russia to Vladivostok on the Pacific Ocean. You can underline this also, that the Trans-Siberian Railway is the longest railway system and which connects the St. Petersburg in western Russia to Vladivostok on the Pacific Ocean. In the map, you can clearly see that this is the St. Petersburg, and this the dotted line is for the railway system which connects St. Petersburg till Vladivostok here. Now, waterways. You have already learned that since early days, waterways were used for transportation. So, waterways are being used since the early years only. Then, waterways are the cheapest for carrying heavy and bulky goods over long distances. So, they are also the cheapest within, means it take less money when we use the waterways, and it carries heavy and bulky goods. Heavy means bhari and bulky means बहुत बड़े जो सामान which are big in size. तो ये चीजें we can carry easily on in the waterways and to over the long places. Then they are mainly of two types. These waterways are of the mainly of the two types, and they are the inland waterways and the sea routes. You can underline this. Inland waterways and the sea routes are the two types of uh, waterways. Next, navigable rivers and lakes are used as inland waterways. Now, which rivers and lakes are used for inland waterways? Navigable means in which we can, means ships and all can be moved from one place to another, loads can be carried. In that case, the inland waterways is used. Then some of the important inland waterways are, now which are the important waterways? Ganga Brahmaputra river system, the Great Lakes in North America, and River Nile in Africa. Whereas sea routes and oceanic routes are mostly used for transportation, transporting merchandise and goods from one country to another. So when the goods, big goods for trade purpose, uh, is carried from one country to another, the people use the sea routes or the oceanic routes. You can underline this, the sea routes or the oceanic routes. You can underline that they are mostly used to carry big heavy goods, to transport heavy goods from one place to another, one country to another. And these routes are connected with the ports, and these sea routes or oceanic routes are connected with the ports. Then next we see that some of the important ports. Which are the important ports of the world? They are Singapore and Mumbai in Asia, New York, Los Angeles in North America, Rio de Janeiro in South America, Durban and Cape Town in Africa, Sydney in Australia, London and Rotterdam in Europe. So these are the important, we can say, ports which are used as by the sea routes and oceanic routes. Clear waterways. Now, airways, this is the fastest way of transport developed in the early 20th century. It is also the most expensive due to the high cost of fuel. Now, airways is the most expensive, you can underline this, most expensive way of transport just because of the high cost of fuel. The fuel of airways is very costly. That is why the airways are very costly. The transportation with the airways is very costly. Now, air traffic is adversely affected by bad weather like fog and storms. Whenever fog and storms are there, then definitely it will interrupt the transportation system by air. It is the only mode of transport to reach the most remote and distant areas, especially where there are no roads or railways. When there are no roads and railways, there and that places airways are used. We will continue with this airways in our next class because now time is running. So till here only I come to an end for today. That's all. Those who have not submitted notebook assessment and subject enrichment activity, try to submit it. Uh, and we'll continue this lesson from airways in our next class.